All right, tested for life. Always a good day when I get free stuff from Canadian Tire. Um, so let's take a look at this. It's called the Guardian, Germ Guardian, and it's a air purifier. And it comes. It's not really that massive. You can see it's about a hand size. But if I pop this top off. Got this filter, and I've already loaded this up with some peppermint oil. This little cartridge that you can put essential oils onto, and it's a fan. It's got a little night light on top, and then you just pop the oil filter back on. And then I'm guessing by the size it's more for like a bedroom or a bathroom. I could see that peppermint oil thing being very aromatherapy in like your bedroom. You know, you get peppermint oil, you breathe a lot better. It also has, so you can read that, UV light that's inside. So you know, with COVID, everybody's talking about this UV light, deadly effects on viruses and such. So it's got this UV light that's supposed to kill your germs as it gets filtered in there. I plugged it in a little bit earlier. It shines through here. I didn't test the night light out. I'll wait for it to get a little bit darker. I'll plug it back in. I'll let it run for a couple hours. Maybe put a few more drops of that peppermint oil in there and see what that room feels like. See if it feels any cleaner. Maybe the aromatherapy circulates a little bit nicely. With the weight and with my place, all my plugs are sideways, so I'm gonna have to find a way to get this to stand upright. I don't really want to bend these out of shape. It's about a pound, but I can see it, you know, damaging these contacts. So I've got to get a plug that stands up. I do have an extension cord, so I may put that on there. Try to put it off a ledge or a windowsill, or maybe just on the ground. And then we'll check that cartridge, see if there's some dust or some might. Who knows what's in there. It looks like a pretty good cartridge, the same kind you get in like a HEPA vacuum cleaner. So we'll see what that does. You can see the ultraviolet light in there. It's really blue, so I'm not sure what type of bulb they're using in there. You can actually feel the breeze. Oh, all the way up here, about 1.5 feet from the unit, and this would be the intake. Now, I'm pretty good at Swiffering this floor during the week. I usually do it on like a Monday, and then about a Thursday or a Friday sometimes. So I'm not expecting a lot of dust. Most of the dust collects under the bed or in the heat registry. So I figured it would be a good spot to put it next to the heat registry. As that heater goes up, some dust particles will probably get loosened up and raised. And that unit can catch it. So what I'll do is I'll check on that in about a week's time. So I've got it going for about 3 days now, maybe 4 days now. I have used the little pad for aromatherapy. I've put some peppermint oil in there and some eucalyptus oil. I can tell you the first day that I did it, this place smelled amazing. I don't know if it was just the illusion of the oil floating through the air that kind of made me think that it was actually easier to breathe and possibly cleaner. But when I come from the other room, the room next door, into this room, you definitely do smell a difference, even if it's with the peppermint oil or not. Yeah, it does have a more pleasant smell. I guess kind of like a slightly newer, cleaner apartment smell. So I'm not sure if it has something to do with that ultraviolet light or the filter or just having that fan circulate the air constantly. I did check the filter. There was a couple little gray specks in the holes from where dust was being trapped. We'll look at that in a few days. We'll give it about 7 days and we'll see how much more dust is in there. Like I said, I know the Swiffer picks up a lot of stuff on this floor, so I'm not really too worried about the stuff that's on the floor. With that being a good foot off the ground, it'd be a good indication of what kind of dust is above the floor level. So we'll definitely give that a shot there. Okay, so it's been about a week, day 8, and we've left this plugged in. I'm not sure if you're supposed to run it 24/7, but I did keep it going 24/7. The other thing I did is I decided to Swiffer the floors every single day just to keep the dust on the floor down and see what kind of microbes that this thing picks up. Usually you hear about air filters and these microbes, and people shake out a big old dusty filter. So that's kind of what I decided to do. I didn't open it up too much after day 2 or 3 of putting in the eucalyptus oil, just because I didn't want outside dust to be getting in there. So I did leave it intact for the last 5 days. What we'll do is we'll open this up, check the filter, see if there's actually any dust. Yeah, and I guess kind of get a feeling of what this thing's actually pulling in. The floors have, like, they're just super clean and shiny. So it'd be interesting to see what's built up in there. I know it's the same thing with fans. You could have fans in a clean room and the blades do get a little bit of dust on them, build up over time. So we'll see what this filter is. I also did find out it's a charcoal filter. Compared to the rest of my place, this room does smell a little bit cleaner. It doesn't have that musky odor. But I also live in an apartment building where there's a lot of smokers. So smoke coming in from the hallway just on the little bit of the crack on the door and even the windows on the balcony. So I do notice when I leave this room, I can definitely smell that in the other rooms a lot more. So yeah, it has been doing a good deal of keeping those odors at bay, and definitely keeping this room. And this isn't too bad a room. This is about a 9 by 8 size room, with a 8-foot ceiling. So it's not a massive room. All right, let's get that opened up, take a peek at it. Okay, so we've got the Germ Guardian. I've got the back of the panel removed, and yeah, so it's actually trapped a fair bit of dust. The middle section here, don't know if that's lined up to something or if that's stuck onto something. Oh, I guess because this circle's right there, no airflow through it. It does seem a little bit greasy there, a little bit sticky on the back. I don't know if that has anything to do with the aromatherapy cartridge is pretty dirty as well. So there seems to be a fair bit of dust coming in through here, or it might actually be. I read this was a carbon filter, so it might actually be some of the loose fibers. Yeah, some of the loose fibers on this carbon filter. That much dust, I I'm a little bit surprised considering that I did upkeep to the Swift ring. So it does look like a very fine particle. I mean, that could also be some of that smoke that I spoke about. Try to get a focus here on macro lens. Yeah, that is like some fine powdery dust. So I imagine that would have been attributed to a lot of the cleaner smell in that bedroom versus the smokier smell in the rest of the apartment. So yeah, I guess it's a good job. Now, the instructions says not to wash this filter, which is kind of the downside. I would have really liked a reusable, washable filter, but I guess this has some charcoal, some titanium filters and fibers and all sorts of scientific mumbo jumbo that's supposed to eliminate like mites and bacteria and mold and allergy pathogens and that sort of stuff. So on the Canadian Tire side, we didn't have any links to get these replacement filters, so I do have to go to the manufacturer's website and price that out. I guess that'll probably be my my ultimate decision. This retails at Canadian Tire for $79.99, I believe, and there's a smaller model that retails for $49.99. It would be interesting to put the two side by side in that room and compare the dust and the smell and the odors and that sort of stuff. But so far so good. I'm actually fairly happy with it. I've never actually had an air purifier specifically for one room. I've kind of had one of those fans with the HEPA filter. So this is pretty unique. I mean, if you could have a couple of these in different rooms. I also read it's only a 5-watt consumption, so couple bucks a year is all it really costs to keep this running in your home. But yeah, the filter would probably be the price point. It's also got a section here where there's a little less. I guess that's where it's not really touching, not really letting a lot of air to circulate through. So maybe the design could be improved a little bit better to get better flow and better suction. Yeah, if they didn't have that back in the middle there, maybe center that fan and have the grills go completely out so you get a lot more airflow. Kind of the way they do a car filter, right? Have the one point of entry. So I'll keep this going for the duration of the filter life, 3 months, and I'll see what how dusty this actually gets. Anyway, that's a review for the Germ Guardian. Thank you, Canadian Tire, for sending this for the Tested for Life. I know for myself, someone with allergies and sensitivity to smoke, it does make a difference in that room. So I may actually look and see what other versions and models out there this is. So this video, it's not paid, but the product was sent by Canadian Tire for free to try and keep. But the review is actually my personal account of using it, and the critique of the product, that's not endorsed by Canadian Tire. Those are my opinions on the product. Thank you. I hope I get some cool stuff from Canadian Tire to continue testing.